Hello, this is Nina. I'm a health and results coach and I help women get glowing skin from the inside out so they can look and feel amazing and live their life to the fullest. So today I want to talk about beauty products. What kind of beauty products do you have? What are you using? What's on the ingredient label? And it's because basically I have been asked a lot lately which beauty products I use for my skin and for my hair, and also what are my criteria to select them and what I deem best for skincare and for personal care products. So I want to talk a little bit about this today. So basically, obviously, the entire market for beauty products, especially for women, also for men, but especially for women, is completely swamped. I mean, there is so much stuff out there. I'd like to obviously begin to direct people to the health food store to get their products, but even in the health food stores, there are still products, unfortunately, to this day that are not really clean. Obviously, there's a lot of marketing involved as well in beauty products. There's a lot of, these buzzwords nowadays, lots of, natural, pure, organic. And whilst this might be true to a certain extent, even in the health food store, there are still ingredients in the products like, for example, sodium lauryl sulfate, also abbreviated as SLS, that are absolutely not good for our bodies. They can disrupt the hormone system in your body. They can cause cancer. They can disrupt the bacteria film that is natural to your skin and that your skin needs to be protected from the sun and from moisture and from all kinds of environmental influences. So I could talk about this for a few hours probably and name different chemicals that are to be avoided. But what I actually like to do, so women can actually go and make the revamping of their beauty closet and of their bathroom a little bit easier. So obviously, yes, the health food store is a good option to begin with, but still be aware, because there can be quite a lot of stuff that is in there that you don't necessarily want. And to be fair, a lot of the products in the health food store are still quite expensive. So you're paying a premium, and at the end of the day, sometimes, not in all cases obviously, but sometimes there's still sneaky chemicals in there that you would find in normal drugstore brands that are way cheaper and that you don't want to have on your skin. So basically, personally, I like to also bring close the things that I personally use, because they have been really carefully selected and handpicked by me over the last probably decade even, because I've started to get into these kind of things quite early on. So I'd like to bring those to my clients and to the people who follow me, simply because it makes it easier and it takes away the pressure of you to go through every single ingredient of your skincare products and contemplate, is this okay, can I use that, I don't know. Obviously a very good source is the Environmental Working Group. They have information about skincare products and the different chemicals that are used widely today and what they do in the body. So you can obviously use resources and online databases like these to select your products. But basically what I personally like to do is I look at the brand, I look at what they kind of stand for, I look at who makes the products, I look at who uses them, and most importantly, I look at the label. Like, I'm a bit of a label police. I have started quite early on reading labels on my products and informing myself what they actually mean, what is behind them. So as I said already before, things like sodium lauryl sulfate are to be avoided, and they're even because obviously it's a chemical compound and there are different versions of this compound. So some of those might have sodium lauryl but not sulfate in the name, but something else, and even then it's not a good thing to use, so that can be confusing as well. So basically what I like to do when I go through the labels of my products, I really only want to have botanicals in there. So for example, names of flower essences, of essential oils, of oils from plants, and they might be there in their Latin name, obviously, but you can make it different. You can differentiate between the Latin names of a plant and actually names of chemical compounds. So if you can't really pronounce anything, if it's really super long, then chances are it's a chemical compound. And obviously this is to be differentiated from things like Lavandum augustifolium, for example, which is lavender, which is in a lot of beauty products, and it's really soothing to the skin and is also used in aromatherapy, for example. So obviously don't get these kind of confused. But so kind of that's my criterion, the first criteria that I have for my beauty products to only contain botanicals or minerals. For example, I also use mineral makeup. If I want to use a foundation, I have something with coverage, then I also go for the mineral stuff. But yeah, basically you want all botanicals because they have the best influence in our skin. They usually don't disrupt the bacterial layer that we have on our skin. You have that bacterial layer everywhere. It's like the gut microbiome, but it's just the microbiome for the skin, and you don't really want this to be interrupted by chemicals. So for example, I'm just going to swipe that away. Hi Julie, thanks for joining. So yeah, so that's the first criteria that I have, only pure ingredients, and the second is the quality of the ingredients. For example, I see a lot of skincare brands coming onto the market and they have things like sunflower oil in them, or apricot kernel oil, and what's the other one, almond oil as well. And whilst they technically are fine and are good and are kind of moisturizing to the skin, these can be oils that are often actually, they can go rancid very quickly, which is why in the very pure, very high quality brands like Living Libations, which is my absolutely favorite one, these are actually avoided, simply because it's very difficult as a skincare producer to make sure that first of all you buy ingredients that are not rancid, and also when you manufacture the products, obviously without chemicals and therefore without chemical preservatives, that these natural products still last. So obviously you don't want any oils in there that can go easily rancid, especially in the heat or in the sun, or even in general if you keep them in the cupboard. So things like apricot kernel oil, almond oil, sunflower oil, I'm not a fan of, but they are used a lot in, say, the cheaper spectrum of skincare products. So they are not kind of super toxic or evil or anything like that. It's just they are not the super nourishing, the super rich and super beautifying ones. You know, there are better oils for your skin, so just for you to know that. But obviously everyone needs to do what they can, and you know, just do your best. So basically, I've mentioned already, one of my favorite skincare brands is Living Libations. Their founder Nadine Artemis is just an absolute plant wizard. She does amazing concoctions. They smell divinely, and she makes sure, and this is the third criteria that I have, that the individual ingredients are super pure, coming from the manufacturer as well. Because obviously you can get different grades of essential oils. You know, you can get relatively cheap ones, you can get non-organic ones, And in these raw products, it's easy for toxins to sneak in. So brands like Living Libations really take care of selecting their raw materials so that they know they're not polluted and they're absolutely high quality, and you can feel that. There is a world of a difference between a moisturizer that only consists of natural oils, but they are not high quality, and a moisturizer by, say, Living Libations or one of the other super pure companies. You can feel the difference, and your skin, especially if it's sensitive, it will feel the difference. So I know that a lot of the times these things are a bit more expensive to begin with, but the good thing is you are actually saving long term because you only need a little drop. For example, when I use facial oils on my skin, the high quality ones, I really only use a little dab or two, and I usually use high quality rose water in a little spritz bottle that I just spritz my face with, and then I put on the oil, and that way you're really actually saving on the amount that you use. And then you can do fancy little things that are playful, for example, to put little morsels of rose quartz into the rose water that you spritz your face with before you apply the skincare oils, or just like normal quartz crystals, and that just infuses the water even more with high vibe energy and with minerals, and it's just a really lovely thing to do, in my opinion. So just, as a little secret tip, that's what I like to do as well. So yeah, as for hair care products, I know it is really difficult, and is something that I really want to touch upon as well briefly, because it applies to skincare, but even more I find to hair care, and that is that different products work for different people, and that goes for the spectrum of regular conventional skin and hair care products, and the very same applies unfortunately to natural, organic, pure hair and skincare products. So for example, I really have my favorite shampoo, which is from Living Libation, and it's the blue spirulina blue shampoo, I think it's called, and it works magnificently for me personally, for my hair, but it might not work so well for someone else. For example, I've got a really good friend, and for her hair it works only once, and then she has to rotate and use another shampoo, and then the next wash she can come back and use that shampoo. So there are different things that you can do to make things work for you, but just to say that it's, I can't give a recommendation for one thing and it will work for everyone, because we are so different. Like, our hair is totally different. Some have straight hair, some have curly hair, wavy hair, short, long. You might live in different climates. You might go through different phases where things work for you and other things not. So that's just one thing to always consider in the conversation of which kind of beauty and skincare products to use, is that you really have to try and see how you personally do with them. Because, yeah, as I said, some things work for some people and others don't work for everyone. So that's where it's at. But I'm sure you will be able to find your brands and your individual products that really work for you, that are clean and that do nourish your skin from within and from the outside, and that you really enjoy using. So if you have any questions regarding skincare or hair care, or making maybe even your own skincare, just post below and I'll do my best to answer as quickly and as in depth as I can. I'm really passionate about the topic, and I really wanted to briefly talk about it because even though there are lots of new skincare brands coming onto the market, it's still very difficult for people to differentiate, to see what works for them, to see what's good, what's not. Even things like coconut oil or just plain jojoba oil, if you don't really want to make a big investment, but you just want one thing that you can just slap on your skin after the shower, or even use on your face, or even on your hair, then I think, just to leave you with one really explicit recommendation, that would be get a really great natural organic jojoba oil in a really pure quality. Maybe get like half a liter, maybe even a liter, depending on, I think the more you, like the bigger the volume, the cheaper it usually gets. And you can just use that just as the beginning, just to take out all of the confusion if you really don't know what to do, in case you're on a short budget, or yeah, if you just feel overwhelmed by the plethora of beauty products that all of a sudden, if you want to go clean, you need to replace. So just use jojoba oil for a while, see how you're doing. You can put small droplets of essential oils in there as well. Not citrus oils for the skin, because it's gonna make your skin more sensitive to the sun. But you know, that could be a very, very simple but effective start to take all of the stress out of the question about what to use and how to use it. And if you need links to the brands that I've recommended or don't know where to get them, I know a couple of outlets in the UK and in general Europe that sell them, and because a lot of them are based in Canada or in the US, so sometimes for us Europeans it's a bit difficult or more expensive to get hold of them. So if you need that, post the link. I can post the link, just put a little comment in the box below. And if you have any other questions or ideas about topics that you want to talk about or want me to talk about, just leave them below as well. All right then, thanks for joining. Hi Abigail. Oh, thank you. I'm really happy that this was informative to you. As I said, if you have any questions, just post below, and I'll be really happy to do my best and see how I can help you. All right then, have a lovely day. Bye.